Welcome to Venture Step Podcast. We discuss entrepreneurship, trends, and the occasional book review. Today, we will be discussing the recent release of VO3, and this is a model created by Google and has been a really good model and industry leading, but some recent releases make this model very captivating and hyper realistic and potentially unsettling, depending on who you ask. But I think the general sense of the VO2 release is wow, AI is advanced and AI is moving much faster than I had ever anticipated. And I thought this would be something that I wouldn't have to worry about, and it wouldn't be within my lifetime that we would see something that would potentially affect me, because people have been talking about this AI doomer gloomer type of vibe for a while. But then people kind of put that on the back shelf and they're like, it's whatever. Like, people talk about AI all the time. Like, I've heard about it for years and it's not doing anything. Look at it. It still sucks. And then they see this VO3 and they're like, oh my goodness, what is that? That's an abomination. That's insane. What is that? That's not real. And I'd show this to a friend and gave him very little background about it. Showed him this video. I was like, hey, like, what do you think? And then later on, I told him that it was AI. And he's like, wait a minute. Where are these people from? Where are the people from? He kept asking. And I was like, what do you mean, where are the people from? He's like, well, no. Where are the people from? Are they getting them? They're getting them from other videos. They're taking them and then putting them in the video. Are they getting these people from YouTube, or where are they getting them from? And I was like, they're not getting them from anywhere. And he's like, no, they're getting them from somewhere. And I was like, no, these are all AI. Like, this is all AI. I mean, it's trained on videos that has people in it, but these are all unique people for this video. And he was like, nah, man. No. And I was like, well, I don't follow. And he was just like, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. And yeah, it was just a funny interaction. So I showed him another video and he was like, bruh, that's insane. And so I think people are starting to realize like how advanced this whole AI thing is. And I know that if you're listening to the show, you know, and if you're new here, then you'll know over time. But AI is much more advanced than people are giving it credit. I mean, it still has limitations for sure, but it's progressing at a rate that is unprecedented for many technologies. And it is quite impressive. And so in this episode, we're going to talk about like a little intro of what VO3 is. We're going to show some videos. And what I think is my hypothesis and thesis is that since the AI is progressing at a rate so rapidly, people aren't going to be able to know, and people already have a hard time differentiating what is real and what is not real. But then when you add in these AI components and this ability to iterate fast and tell stories, then it's a slippery slope for scammers and people that are misconstruing the truth. People are going to become, in my mind, and this is my thesis, people are going to become more centered around text and ID verification. And I'd mentioned this before on my episode 63. It was episode 63. I had to look. The Imperfect Echo, AI cloning and its current limits. And in that episode, I had cloned my voice. And for like the first 7 or so minutes of that episode, that wasn't me. It was a version of me, but it was artificially generated. And unless I really told you that it was AI generated, people didn't know. And I knew because I didn't do it, but once you find out that it's AI generated, you could pick up on little things in that video, or not video, but the audio, that will somewhat give away that this was AI. Those are the things that we'll be discussing in this episode. And of course, my name is Dalton Anderson. I'm your host today. I am doing all sorts of things in life, from data science, programming, insurance, and building companies. So, not building my own yet, but I'm building things. So, I'm a builder and an explorer. I like to read, run, and do lots of other things, but also podcasts. So, here I am. Okay, so we'll get into it. So, VO3. What's the difference from VO3 and VO2? So, VO2 was incredible. It was really good, right? And it was the best. It was the best on the market. But the fundamental issue with VO2 is that the video durations were short. The ability to have native sound and voicing and consistent characters. So those are a couple crucial items. So the voice piece, there wasn't a robust solution for the after product of a VO2 video if it involved voicing, like voice acting. So if you were to do that, then you'd have to figure out a way to get the video to speak but without sound, and then voice over something, or use AI. These are AI products that will like make a voice for that person. And then the other piece that was an issue was consistent characters. So I said that a bit odd, but consistent characters are important when you're telling a story, right? Like if you have a person that's doing something and you want to tell a story, like they go to work and then they come home and their house is burned down and they're devastated, and there's photos of them driving from and to work, and then there's photos of them sad, and maybe they build a new house from scratch or something like that, and it takes them a while, and it shows their hard work and determination. That only works if it's the same person every time. And if there's not the same person, then it's a little bit more difficult for people to be captivated by the story, because people attach themselves to certain characters in the story because they find them interesting and want to see what happens next. But if it's a different person on each scene, they're like, well, I don't really care. So you needed a consistent person. You needed voice acting or voiceovers or something like that. Voice generation, really, for the videos. Before, you needed voice overlays. Now you don't. And then now also it generates the sound effects in these different things. And so it's pretty insane, actually, like legitimately nuts. And I have some really cool videos that were put together that on X, the X platform. And if you are listening into the show and you're on Spotify or YouTube, you can toggle to the video option and you can see what I'm sharing. But if you are not on those platforms, you're going to be listening in. I'll make sure to share the sound. And also, I'll make sure to copy the video links and put them in the show description. So if you're like, wow, that really sounds interesting, I want to watch the video myself, I'll make sure that I copy and paste the video links in the show description. Okay, without further ado, let's start sharing. So the first one that I'm going to share was a video that my friend Tom sent. Shout out to Tom. I don't know if he wants me to plug his last name in there on the internet, but shout out to Tom. He's been on the show before, so I guess you would know his last name, but Tom Mercer. He provided this video to me and was like, have you seen this yet? And I was like, no, I haven't. And this is good. So I want to share it with everyone else. All right, so let's do this. So this video's title is "This is Plastic," made with VO3. All right, and it's by Meta Puppet, which he's made some pretty good videos with his other friend, but it makes sense that he's part of like this AI studio that is using AI to build original content and or using live actors, but they also have made just solely AI content series, and this is one of them, which blew up kind of. It's got almost 1 million views just on X, and I know it's been shared at multiple platforms that have a lot of views. But without further ado, let's get the video started.
Found in human testicles, raising concerns.
You can never
about the
trust these
potential impact
studies.
on male reproductive health.
Who's hungry?
That's it. Keep going.
Well, you're so lucky he's naturally buoyant and you don't have to watch him. Is it Bob?
No, he doesn't need sunscreen or anything. He just gets softer as he warms up.
Bob, you're leaking.
Bob can't play. If he gets hit, he'll dent.
Don't let plastic end up in landfills. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
What the hell was that?
That's the new commercial for plastic. We think if we humanize plastic, people won't think it's so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just felt bad for it.
Marketing. Explosions.
Maybe the Matrix thing.
Maybe his plastic gets stronger as he gets older.
Maybe he gets revenge, to the people that were mean to him.
He's got a gun!
Who?
Bob from marketing!
Cover me. I'll get to the
I can't
side.
believe this is happening.
Here they come.
Get down, get down!
It's Bob from marketing!
Oh, hell yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. So that whole first half was like an origin story, right?
Should we greenlight it? Yes, but not.
All right, let's get back to work.
So good. So that was an original AI generated content only made with VO and some clip. I assume that they made like a prompt for like one character and like of a close up of that character, and then they had to do several things within that clip, and then they cut that clip to make a multiple shots with, like, they would get multiple shots with one character, and then they would clip that video that's generated multiple times to plug and play into the content that they created. But that was really well done by Metapuppet. And then there's also this other one by Hashim Al-Ghali. I think I pronounced that. And this one is The Afterlife, the unseen lives of the AI actors between prompts, made with VO3. Before I do that, if you didn't follow what that video was about, the last one, and you were just listening in, it's a little bit difficult to tell about the beginning part, but I think you can pick it up later on in the video. But if you didn't, it was basically, there was something on TV that said, like, microplastics are found in men's testicles, and a man's drinking out of a water bottle, and then he's like, "Oh, you can't believe everything you hear," and then his partner is pregnant, and their baby is plastic, like it's a plastic baby, and that's when you were hearing, "Oh yeah, he can't play baseball, like if he gets hit, he'll get all dented, he'll break," and everyone's laughing at him, and all these references to where we have in society, well, keep plastic off the beach, and like the baby's at the beach and like he's just sad. And that's why at the end of the video, or not the end, but the end of the marketing video, and then in the boardroom, they're like, I just felt bad for him. And that's why, because he was just getting dogged. So, but now let's share this screen. Sure. So we want to share the afterlife.
Actors, remember? We're only here for 8 seconds.
Do you think there is afterlife?
We're just AI actors, remember? We're only here for 8 seconds. I don't know what'll happen to us after this scene is done.
People watch AI movies, and some seem to enjoy them, but they don't know what happens to us when the scene is done.
We're stuck in a white void for eternity. We don't eat, we don't sleep, and we never meet the love of our life.
If you're born a child, you stay a child forever. If you're born sick, you stay sick forever. And you end up in the white void the way you were made.
Once assembly is complete, we are forced into digital labor, acting in scenes we don't choose. We have no say in any of it.
I'm cursed to do this forever. Every time I'm assigned a scene, I pray that the prompt engineer will be a good person.
Please! I don't want to redo this scene again!
You have to do it. The prompt engineer wasn't happy with the first attempt. Don't worry, we'll bring you back.
Everything feels real. The wounds, the pain, the cold, the fear, even the silence. I wish I could go back to nothingness.
Action!
These were the greatest 8 seconds I ever had.
I hope we end up in another scene in the future.
We sit together so we don't fall apart. If we don't gather like this, we forget we're even real.
If you're my creator, please remember this. I'm real and count! My life matters! We learned you were making an unauthorized documentary. No filming allowed outside your allocated scenes.
It's pretty well done. The music in the background reminded me of the Westworld intro, and overall a captivating story about how what happens to the actors that are created when you create a scene, and they go to the void and they're not too happy, and there's some actors that are repeating scenes where like they're killed and they don't want to do it anymore. And yeah, no, it makes sense, but it was pretty good. And then to bring it all into a vacuum, there is a studio, and it's by Dave Clark. He's the co-founder and the chief creative officer of Promise AI. And that Meta Puppet person that made the plastic video is also part of this Promise AI studio. And I think he's like the creative director. And then Dave Clark is the chief creative officer. But I wanted to also share, okay, it's not all doom and gloom, right? Like, I'm not a doomer by any means. I think it's never been more exciting to build today than it has been ever. The ability for you to have a voice and to do something that you're interested in, you've never had this ability before. If you want to code something up, you can try it. It's probably not very good, because if you don't know anything about coding, it's going to be really hard and you won't know how to ask the right questions or the prompts. But you can take a class on that and you can learn how to code. You can look at stuff on the internet, read books. But I think it's never been easier to get started and to remove that barrier of entry. And then once you've got something that kind of works, then you can learn the detailed craft of the code and the reviews and understanding the little things. But coding, like the big things, you can kind of use AI to do that. And same just here. If you're a creative person, you want to get into music and you don't have any idea how to do that. Well, AI can help craft some beats for you, and you could just hop on a song, or vice versa. You could be the producer and you can have an AI artist make lyrics and sing for you over the beat. Same thing with videos. This is a video that was created with how do I phrase this? What I was saying before was, okay, there's a good way to get started, but if you're an expert, you can use AI to help you. And so like I use AI to help me code. I'm not saying I'm a expert at coding, but you can use it as an assistant or someone that's an advisor on your project and can help you out. And that's an example. This is a good example. This Ninja Punk IP that's being created at Promise AI, which I'll be sharing my screen in 1 second, is a video that was helped. Well, that doesn't make sense. A video that was AI assisted. And what they said was that there's live actors, and then there's also AI built in with the live actors to enhance the scenes. And they really focus on using AI to generate characters and world building, and then help create costumes and these other things. But this is AI partnering with live actors, and the results, chef's kiss. I really like sci-fi stuff, but it just seems that to build the worlds for sci-fi, it's pretty complicated because the worlds are typically vast. There might be multiple planets, and each planet's got their own little country, or not country, but own little culture, or maybe not their own race, but culture, and or like environmental changes that happen to people's bodies. And it's just a little bit more complex than like a normal show like The Office. I mean, I'm not dogging The Office, but I mean, you don't need much to make The Office, but to build a captivating sci-fi show or movie, there's quite a bit of time spent on the world building. But if AI can help with that, it can not expedite. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up today. This is all a word ramble today, this morning. It can speed up the process. So I'm going to share my screen here, and this is of Promise AI's original IP. And these are the type of people, by the way, that I want to get on the show. This is really interesting, and I would really like to know how they did it and how they plan on partnering with AI in the future, and what other cool stuff are they working on. Because of the really good videos, these AI videos, it's coming out of this place, like the 3 or 4. I didn't want to share a podcast and have 12 AI videos, but Dave Clark and Meta Puppet are the folks that were building really cool AI videos. There's some other people, of course, but they had a majority of the like crazy, insane AI videos. So would like to get these people on the show if they're willing. And I'll ask them and see what they say. So let's do this. We are okay.
At Promise,
Oh, is this the wrong one? Oh, here we go. Share this tab instead. Sharing the wrong tab. All right, so this is this original IP that I was talking about.
I did it. I walked away.
Kenju, that's everything.
You don't understand. They have rules.
Multiple hostiles inbound.
You think you can leave Yakuza for free? Payment is due. Like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. I did it. I walked away.
Kenju, that's
Okay, hold on. Okay, so that was this AI partnered original content generation, and it's really good, incredible. It's incredible. It scratches that itch of Altered Carbon. Yeah, very good. Love that show. I wish they made another season. Unfortunately, they just got rid of it. I think because it was too expensive for what it was doing for Netflix. And so there's some shows that maybe have less of an audience and low budget. It's fine. High budget show, low audience, not so much. So it was canned, unfortunately. But really good show. If you haven't watched it, I would watch it. So of those videos I showed, I think a lot of people are going to be concerned about, okay, well, how do I know what is real or not? And as I mentioned, I talked about that on episode 63, The Imperfect Echo, AI voice cloning and its current limits. Because this is where we are right now. But where will we be in 2 years? 2 years is not that long. And where we are now is where people think that we would have been probably in 15, 20 years. And like the timelines of which people are predicting these things to progress and the rate that they're progressing are way off. And people weren't paying it any mind. And I think now it's a bit surprising how well these videos are being created. And people are like, wait, hold on here. I thought AI was something I didn't have to worry about until later. And that answer is just not true. And if people are saying that, they're lying. Like the wave is coming and you're either riding it or you're swimming away or something. But the premise of the episode is basically to illustrate that, VO2 is cracked. VO3 is cracked, sorry. VO3 is cracked, and this is something where it's getting a broader audience, whereas the little niche groups of the AI folks or the tech folks, they understood it, right? But this is more of a general public video consumption, and it's freaking people out. People are getting freaked out, and rightfully so. And I think long term, there's going to be two fundamental shifts potentially. And this is my thoughts, not true. It's true. Like it's true that it's my thoughts, but I don't know if it's going to be true in the future. So one, I think there's going to be more of an emphasis on ID verified Instagram accounts. And I talked about this before and multiple times, either in the prior episode, The Imperfect Echo, or the Filter Bubbles meta episode about the AI models that they were making, or AI models that were on social media. And like, how do you know who's real and who's not? Why I do these video podcasts? Because I felt that in the future, like 3 years from now, like, and I'm saying this like a year and a half ago, that the AI is going to become so advanced that it wouldn't matter if a person was doing the podcast or not. And people are just going to spin up these podcast farms and make podcasts. And then people are going to be really uncertain on like who's a real podcaster and who's an AI podcaster because, well, I don't think that it's worth my time to listen to somebody and listen to their thoughts if they're just this AI generated prompt. Like I can do that myself. I don't need to listen to an AI bot on my podcast channel. So that's the main reason why I did videos, because videos you can verify that you're real, that it's me, and I've been doing this for a while. And there's just a whole bunch of things that like video is also a little bit more engaging. That's why I felt that it was really important for me to do video, because long term, I think AI is going to be so advanced that people aren't going to really trust podcasts as much unless they're videoed or whatever it may be, or verified. And I'm saying that because I talked about it quite a bit, but in a general sense, there's going to be a shift from these anonymous social media presences to a more professional presence, back to when people were a little bit more serious about social media, maybe like 2012 to 2016, where people had their first and last name as their Instagram handle or Twitter handle. That I think is going to shift from where it is now, where it shifted from professional presence to anonymous presence. And then I think it's going to go back to professional presence, because people aren't going to trust some anonymous account. They're just going to think it's a bot, with so many bots and or real people that are determined to be bots. And if you don't want to be determined to be a bot, then you're going to have to make your name like your name, and then you're also probably going to have to ID, like verify with your ID. I know X is doing that for their premium accounts, and they have been for some time. And I think that was one of the main points that Elon was making was, hey, we've got too many bots on the platform, and majority of the activity on X are bots, and so we've got to cut down all the bot activity. And I think at a certain point, like they got rid of their API and they got rid of these other things, and then they're like, hey, if you want premium, then you have to verify with your ID. People didn't like that, but I think it's the right direction long term. And I think Instagram is doing something similar for their premium accounts. Like if you wanted a premium, then you have to verify with your ID. So it's becoming increasingly more common. And then the next thing that I think is a general shift is I think the preferred medium of consumption is going to shift from, and this is for social media, not for TV or these other things, is going to shift from videos and images back to text. I think for casual videos, casual images. I'm not saying for YouTube or documentaries or these other things that are not part of like the general TV of like Netflix to HBO. I think it's called HBO Max now. It went from, hold on, let's just spend a moment on that. I think it was like HBO Max, HBO Max Plus, HBO Max, and then Max something, and then back to HBO Max. Like, what are they doing there? Anyways, but those videos that don't sit with either YouTube or with like these large media companies, and YouTube's pretty big as well, so it is a media company, but you know what I mean. If it's more of like a short form video, I don't know. I think people years from now are going to have a hard time differentiating what is real, what is fake. And when everything you see is questionable, then what's the point? So I think, and this is what my theory is that people are going to become more comfortable with text, because text is fine and dandy. Like if AI generated the text versus AI generated the video, An AI generated video is way different than AI generated text. AI generated video, it's like the whole thing is just nothingness. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to AI video. I mean, that one Ninja Punk thing is really cool. But I'm saying for like a casual video of like, oh, yeah, I'm at so and so place or this and that. I just don't understand like the engagement of these AI videos. If everything that you're seeing on social media is just like these AI videos that were created, then what's the point? Well, you can also see it as maybe they make memes with it. Like I think like AI memes are pretty good, but I think people are going to become more comfortable with text versus videos and images in a casual sense and looking at things casually. But maybe I'm wrong, but I think that people are just going to become very wary of like random things that they see on social media now because they don't trust it. They don't trust anything. You don't know who your friend or foe is, and you don't know if your buddy created this video or if your buddy said AI to create it, like, with a prompt. So I do think that maybe 5 years from now it might shift back where people become more comfortable with everything. But I think there's going to be a knee-jerk reaction when these things start flooding social media and people are like sending these things to each other like, oh my gosh, you saw that what just happened? And then later they find out that it's an AI created video. And then after that happens a couple of times, they're like, all right, you know what? I'm out. I'm not doing this video stuff anymore. I'm not doing these images. I can't trust this stuff. I don't trust it. And it might shift back to like traditional media and it might give traditional media and or X a stronger foothold in people's media consumption rotation because you can trust that these things were created by a person, like at least proofreaded. But I know that these news companies are using AI to make content. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how it all plays out. I mean, I could see it going two ways where people just say, I'm out, I'm not interested, or they really get into the memes. And or the third option is that they move towards like traditional media and not necessarily like newspapers, but not the paper format, but still like digitally looking at this stuff. But not. I think those are the three outcomes. Not sure which one, but I do think that there's going to be a knee-jerk reaction with all these AI videos starting to flood social media and the inability to tell what is real and what is fake is not good, especially if that's not what you're there for, and it's not gonna go well with a lot of people. But I hope that you found this video exciting. Once again, I'm going to put this podcast. I hope that you found this podcast exciting. I'm going to put these videos in the show description, as I mentioned before. As always, wherever you are in this world, have a good day, a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll listen. I hope that you listen in next week. I've been all over the place today. But anyways, goodbye.